Good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 37 of the Great Western Podcast. Today is Saturday, February 28th. I'm your host, as always, Mark the Wizard Maserlian, and today we are joined by Dr. Peltzer, NBA historian, and Coach Theory. How are you guys doing today?
What's up,
Morning.
guys?
So, a lot of fun stuff going on in the league. Sorry, no trivia again today. I've been so engrossed in the standings and kind of focusing on who I think is going to win the NBA. I think today we're just going to start off with who are the best contenders, who can win this thing. What do you guys think?
Sounds
Sounds
good. Let's
good.
get into it.
All right, let's get into it. So first, we're going to start on the East Coast like we like to do. Okay, in the East Coast we have the Pistons number one. We got the Celtics number two currently. Knicks, then Cavs. Um, are any of these teams you think real contenders? But we'll start with you, Coach Theory. Who do you got coming out of the East?
Out of the East, I still have the Celtics. What I think we're seeing with the Pistons is fantastic. But you have Jason Tatum coming back to a Celtics team that's already firing in all cylinders. They're playing fantastic basketball. I think if you add Jason Tatum to that in any way, shape, or form, I think if Jason Tatum is smart enough, he'll kind of realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I take a backseat to Brown. I just play when I'm needed, kind of thing, or take over when I'm needed. It's also yet to see. I'm assuming that he's going to come back strong from injury. It is difficult, as we've seen, to come back from those injuries, but
Right.
nowadays more and more you're able to. And KD had that injury how long ago now, and he's still playing solid basketball.
Well, yeah.
So with
Dude,
with this modern technology, those injuries aren't as career altering as they used to be, but you never know. Everyone recovers differently.
okay. Chu, what
So
do
I
you
still
think?
got Celtics out of the East.
NBA historian, what do you think about that? Where do you see the Celtics? Do you think they're real contenders? Why or why not?
Yeah, I like the Celtics were they kind of had a decision to make this year, and the fact that they are in this they lost their best player, who's probably a top six player in the league, and now they're second in the East. Just shows a lot about the culture they have over there. And yeah, I'm very impressed with what they did with the season. I thought they were going to tank, and history will show that it might have been a good idea to tank. Um, They got Vucevic,
Yeah.
who we don't know if he is a winning player or not. I think he was a two-time All-Star, at least one-time All-Star. And I just think that the Pistons, they play defense. They're physical. They don't have experience. They're a little younger, but they have the best player in the East in Cade Cunningham. And I like the chances for the Cavs. I'm actually rooting for the Cavs, but with the James Harden hand injury, it's his right hand, so it's not his shooting hand, but he is going to give it a go. I'm not sure what his timeline is when he's back, but I liked the Cavs and with the healthy James Harden. With a compromised James Harden, I don't know. I don't think they can do it, but I'm rooting for them. And um, I guess Knicks have a puncher's chance, but it's funny how we look at Cat over the years, and I think in the eye of the public, he's kind of um, he's at his lowest point. Um, and I think the T-Wolves won that trade. They got out from the Cat contract. They got DiVincenzo, and they got
Julius.
Randall. Yeah,
Oh,
Julius
Orange
Randall. So
Julius.
I think the T-Wolves won that trade. But yes, if I'm a betting man, I'm betting Pistons. But I'm rooting for the Cavs out of the East.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of still in the top four for you. What about you, Dr. Peltzer? What do you see over here?
I see the Pistons as a formidable opponent. I really like the old school ball and Jalen Duren, Cunningham. I think they have a great defense. The Knicks also have a good defense. So those are my top two teams.
Knicks as well. Yeah, I mean, I think the jury's out on the Knicks too. It's game to game, starting
The
with this.
Knicks keep
Yeah.
dropping. The Knicks keep
So
dropping winnable games that they
yeah,
should really win. And
right.
sometimes in blowout fashion, sometimes close games. And that to me shows inconsistency that they're going to start pointing the finger at each other because they have so much talent, right? They have so many players that should be stars. And there's just something that's not clicking in New York.
Yes.
If that changes come playoff times, I'd be super happy. At the beginning of the season, I had Knicks to go to the finals because the talent is there. But they keep dropping those games that just has me shaking my head. Like the games, even after a tough loss, you think they'd be focused and want to come back and win. I mean, they lost to Detroit how many times in a row by not even
Yeah.
close, not even competitive. So I don't see them getting past Detroit. The problem I see with Detroit is they're inexperienced still. I kind of see them like what OKC was 2 years ago when OKC was doing good but couldn't quite get over the hump in the playoffs. And I do see either
That's a
the
good point.
Cavs or the Celtics stopping them on the way. That being said, they're playing the best basketball in the East. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the Pistons are at a place where maybe like how they were OKC a couple years back, where they were good, but maybe they don't have the ability to kind of win in the playoffs. But they're a well-constructed team. So it remains to be seen what Cade and Duran are going to do in the playoffs. They have Tobias, they got Thompson there, so they're going to be a tough out regardless. I mean, and it looks like they're probably going to be the one seed, so they're going to have home court. So someone's going to have to knock them off. Now, with the Celtics, I think the emergence of, I can't believe I'm saying this, Peyton Pritchard. This guy can
Good
ball.
review.
This guy
He's
can
good.
ball. He can
Yeah.
score. He's not afraid of the shot. Okay. Queta, Nimias Queta has stepped up great as this kind of defensive perimeter big that no one really saw coming as being like a starting caliber center like this. Obviously, Derek White has been able to fill that role of offensive scorer and leader, and Jalen Brown is playing at an MVP level. He really is. So
he's
uh,
carrying that team.
he's carrying that team.
All the role players you mentioned are terrific, and that's
Yeah.
what makes a championship team. You need
So
a
yeah,
bona fide star, a leader like that. You know,
Yeah, they're
yes.
a system team and they have playoff experience.
Which,
They're
as
solid.
a Laker fan, it pains me to say this, but it's the product that I see on the court. Like I wish the Lakers had this. I could talk about the Lakers this way, their depth, their system, But I think they're gonna be a tough out. I think with Tatum, I see that he's playing 5-on-5 scrimmages. Have you guys kept up?
yeah,
Seen that,
yeah.
right? So when is he gonna come back? If he comes back, it's probably gonna be minutes restrictions. It's probably gonna be with the second unit at least at first. You're not going to just throw him in there in the starting lineup and play 35 minutes a game, right?
I mean, if you pull Tatum off the bench, that's kind of a very nice luxury to have, you know. But given the fact that that system is clicking, that offense is clicking,
Yeah.
and in a way, like two stars side by side, sometimes, not always, sometimes they bring out the best in each other, like Kobe Shaq. Other times, somewhat they take away from each other's games. And the way the Celtics are riding right now, and Brown is just leading that,
Yeah.
I say off the bench to start out with for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Celtics, they seem to be that team that no one really thought was going to be there, but they have the experience. I mean, a lot of these, like, they want to, JB is a championship player. So,
Did you guys see the I think it was a viral tweet or it was from an interview or something where it was a conversation between who's the better player, Jalen Brown or Luka Doncic.
wow. I did not
You-
see that.
Okay, so you have very two different styles of players, right? Jalen Brown often defends the opponent's best player. So
Right.
he plays both sides of the ball. Who do you guys take if you want to win a playoff series?
Well, I
Are you
mean,
taking Brown or Doncic?
I mean, the Doncic we're seeing today in a Lakers uniform is not the Doncic of old, and we could get into that on another pod or today if we
yeah.
have time. Um, just as a product, it's hard to watch every single play. And I don't know if that's a result of them losing, that he's always after every play trying to get the refs to call a foul. A lot of times when you remember when you were kids on the court, if another team or another player isn't shooting well or whatever, he's just complaining at the refs,
Yeah.
right? So I kind of see that mentality. But to have winning basketball, you do have to play defense. Sometimes you can have a player like Luka Doncic that is so incredible, and if the team around is built well enough to make up for his lack of defense, yeah, you could see that winning. But for all intents and purposes, you guys know I'm a defensive guy, and like I will take Brown to go to if I have to go into the finals.
Wow.
Of course, it depends who's around you, but right now I'm
Yeah,
taking Brown.
I hear that. What about you, Dr. Peltzer? I mean, are you
I,
taking
I, I'd have to back that up. I think you're getting a good player on both sides of the ball. Luka on defense,
Yeah, really not to
but
be.
I
offensive, yeah.
I have a before we move on from Celtics, I have a Celtics trivia for you guys.
Okay.
What former Laker point guard is Peyton Pritchard's mentor? And I'll give you more hints if you guys don't know about it.
Former Lakers point guard is Peyton
Is
Pritchard's mentor.
okay, next hint. He's white.
Steve Blake.
That's it.
Who?
Boom. I believe that's dang.
Steve Blake
I
is his
believe that, dude.
mentor.
I believe that. The way I mean, it's crazy you're saying. I think he has a better shot, but he does play kind of like Steve Blake, like when like on like an aggressive version of Blake. Blake as
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
well,
Blake
dude.
was
I
He
can see
plays like an
that.
aggressive version. That's how did you come to know that? That's good.
I saw an interview. I saw an interview where he talked about it. They're from the same town.
Wow. Look at that. Dropping knowledge over here. I do think the Celtics have a chance. So, any final Celtics things? Let's keep going on the East over
Do we
here.
want to guess the
Yeah. We'll end each one with that. For
let
Celtics,
let's first start you off with, and if you've already seen the odds,
I haven't.
okay, so on Kalshi, who is favored to come out of the East right now, if you had to guess?
Gotta be
I think
Pistons.
I think Pistons would be the ones favored right now.
So although that's the one seed, it's not the Pistons. Any other guesses?
Celtics?
It's currently the Cleveland Cavaliers at
Wow.
27%.
Wow.
People, well, look, okay, so for the Cavs, obviously the
Yeah, they
Harden
were
thing.
humming. They were humming.
The Harden thing is gonna be it's gonna depend. But last night, I don't know if you saw, Schroeder turned back the clock a little bit. He's not like I don't think he's washed at all. I think Schroeder can play. He seems to be a kind of a polarizing figure, but he played 38 minutes last night, right? Like he's a decent floor general. I don't think he's not Harden, but he's ready to play. He's played playoff basketball. I don't think that he can do the same things that Harden does, but I mean, he's a good backup point guard there for them.
Yeah, it's not that big of a drop off. I mean, it's a drop off,
It's a drop
but
off.
having Schroeder as your backup to come in for James Harden is a nice luxury.
Well, also what they do is they try to keep either Mitchell or Harden on the floor at all times, and I think staggering them is good because, as I said, if you have two stars, sometimes one takes away from the other, especially if they're two ball dominant stars. And looking at the Cavs, the first few games with Harden, they looked really good. And they click best when they're rotating those minutes. So it's not exactly like you have James Harden and Mitchell on and then off and then Shooter comes in, right?
Yeah,
It's more like they're rotating that to get the best out of everybody.
I
And it
agree.
seems to be working thus far. Now the question is, in a 7-game series, are you going to take the Cavs or are you going to take the Celtics? That's the way I look at it.
Man, I
And I
mean, well,
still I still have Celtics on that.
right now they wouldn't be playing each other, right? If it was right now, the standings.
No, I would
Yeah.
assume that would be
Celtics
in
Cavs, it would if it ended today, then the Celtics would have to have beat the Knicks and then the Cavs have to beat the Pistons. But there's still
right.
movement
So
there.
they would face each other second round if it
They're-
were today.
if it was
Third.
today, it'd be the
Yeah,
like
yeah.
conference
So there
finals, but
they'd be in the semifinals.
yeah. But
And
yeah.
the way I've always said, you guys know me, obviously not a Harden fan. It's gonna be tough to win a 7-game series in a tight game down the stretch. Harden is gonna cough up the ball and brick some shots. That's what he's historically done.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
with all
So
yeah,
that's why I got the Celtics over the Cavs.
I think also for the Cavs, it's going to depend on what kind of Mobley we see in the playoffs. Are we going to see this all defensive player who can also put pressure on you on the offensive side? And what type of Jarrett Allen are we going to see? He started off the year very slowly, and now he's been playing much more aggressively on offense. And also they were a team that got their lumps last year, like we discussed, right? Like a team that was number one in the playoffs. People expected more. They got bounced by the Pacers. Is this Cavaliers team going to be a little bit more poised in the playoffs? Are they going to be a team that
That's why they brought Harden in,
That's why, yeah.
to
So
make that push.
I think
yeah,
they
yeah.
could use some like coaching. I don't think they're who is their coach? Atkinson or
Atkinson.
something? Yeah.
He's
I
cool. I
mean,
like him.
imagine they were running the triangle and Mobley was, catching the
Does
ball in
any
the
team
high
run the
post.
triangle?
Yeah,
Does
I
any
mean,
team run the triangle?
I don't
no,
think so.
not that I see, dude.
No,
The
no, no.
Warriors
We're
are the
just we're
closest
just
thing, probably.
hypothetical.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, Dr. Peltzer.
Yeah, Warriors are the closest thing to the triangle, but no one's running it anymore. It's a different style of ball game. But I do think they need more plays run. Like Mobley, are they utilizing him like to the best of his abilities?
Right, and he's had kind of a low year. He's been hurt. I mean, they do have some shooters around. They got Sam Merrill over there. Jalen Tyson seems to be a pretty decent like two-way player. Plays intense, but he's young. He's not a proven player. Porter Jr., Thomas Bryant, Naquan Tomlin. These players are not necessarily going to move the needle much for me. It really is going to come down to those main stars. And what level Mitchell can really bring.
So,
Mhm.
Mark, you mentioned Allen
Mobley.
and Mobley as defensive bigs, which is great. I'm all about defensive bigs,
Right.
but who are they going to defend? It's not like the Celtics is running their offense through an interior big center that can score. You know what I'm saying? If it was going up against the Bucks and Giannis or a healthy AD back in the day or whatever, then okay, that's a good thing. I think if
Sure.
the Cavs want to stand a chance at beating the Celtics, maybe that's what they do. They punish them down low and on the offensive end. They get Allen involved on the offensive end as much as possible. Because who do
Yeah.
the Celtics have down low? Is Vucevic really enough to stop, you
No.
know,
No.
an offensive big? No, absolutely not. I think that's their only way to the chip. Perimeter defense, Boston has shown repeatedly that they have
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
so
I
I
mean,
think those are the two. I think we're all in agreement that those are the two teams. Wait, someone was saying Pistons. So
what?
if we were to have,
So we did Cavs. So we did Cavs.
yeah,
That Cavs are number one. Dr. Pelter, you said,
Yeah,
right?
Cavs are number one.
Celtics are what coming out of the East?
So, okay, the top three teams right now,
No, I don't. Okay, we gotta
yeah,
do
hooray!
this balloons.
top
Okay.
three teams are actually really close in percentages. Do you want to guess the next two?
So real quick,
Celtics.
I bought Celtics on
Celtics are on
Kalshi.
there.
I
Celtics.
bought Celtics on Kalshi when they were at 15%. I'd love to know what they're at now.
They are second at 25%.
Dang.
Six. So
Good.
my stock already went up
And
10%,
who's
huh?
a close third? And then there's a noticeable drop off.
Is it Pist? It's got to be Pistons.
It's the
No, it's
Pistons,
got to be Pistons.
which is, I'm surprised, but there's 23% is Pistons, and then Knicks are next at 14%.
Yeah. So here, let's move to the
Pistons. The
Pistons.
Pistons
Let's
need
move
a
to
second, a
Pistons a little bit.
secondary. The
Let's move
Pistons
to
need a
Pistons.
secondary attack.
Yeah. Let's move to Pistons. We talked about obviously Cade and Jalen. Their secondary attack. Say further on that. NBA
Well,
historian, what are you
it's
thinking?
too Luka Harden centric. You know, those traditional where it's Cade basically like running the show. So it's I think in playoff basketball we've seen that those type of offenses when a team has 7 games to play them are more easily solvable. They need a Kyrie or someone that can relieve Cade. I was hoping they would get MPJ. They would trade Tobias Harris in a first for MPJ, but it never happened. That would have been a great move.
Well, they have Denise Jenkins, who is, shout out to him as a two-way player. He has really carved out a nice role for himself as a backup point guard over there. And I actually think that there's going to be some interest for that guy because he's pretty clutch. Yes, like we were talking to Dr. Pelcher last night, he hit a three. He hit three clutch free throws at the buzzer to send that game to OT against the Cavs, and they won the game. He seems to be a really good floor general. And just to push back, Chu, I completely agree. Cade and Duran are a little bit young for being all stars and leaders, but they got Sir Thompson, a good defender. Tobias Harris does have some poise that he adds, and off the bench they have a lot of depth that I think has carried them throughout the year. Was it Ron Holland lottery pick?
And
Uh,
who'd they just trade for too to add to the bench?
They just got a
they
shooter.
They
Who was
just
it?
traded for they got Huerter. They got Huerter.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, Red Mamba.
Karis LeVert is a bucket. Karis LeVert is a good bucket. Paul Reed can play some defense. They got Sass. So they got Duncan Ross. Like they have a decent amount of depth, and I think historically in the playoffs, depth hasn't been a huge thing because the benches get tighter. But let's see. Can this Detroit defensive mob, second unit, play and make a difference in the playoffs? That's what I think is going to be the difference and make that Pistons team be a competitive team or not.
Yeah, I just see them getting stopped in the second round by
Yeah,
whoever meets up with them. The Cavs, I think, have more experience. I mean, we'd be surprised,
yeah. I
That
mean,
could
look,
easily go to 7. You know, to Dr. Peltzer, you said they were at 23%.
Yeah, now it's moving. It's moving as we speak, 24%.
as we speak. So yeah, I think I agree. I think if you look back, they lose, you go, yeah, they're young and experienced, right? If they win, you go, what an upstart team, right? But that's
Right.
the what is it? The narrative switching.
Well,
These are the
the coach
narratives,
has them
right?
locked in.
Yeah.
Bickerstaff is doing a great job. I love the whole Pistons culture idea, the bad boy Pistons. When it's
Isaiah Stewart there,
yeah,
really big guy.
You
yeah.
guys think that
So
Cade actually plays defense, or like I know he plays more defense than Harden and Luka, but he actually does play a little defense, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, he's on ball.
he's
He's
a
on
good ball
ball.
defender. I think he's a little bit
He's
his
their weakest
spacing
defender, but
his
he's still
spacing is
like
not that great, but
average.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on Pistons before we move into Knicks here?
Is Tobias Harris reliable down the stretch?
Dude. I
Yes.
think more than Paul George.
Then
Did he get traded for Paul George? Wasn't that the whole thing about like how like oh you give up Paul George and you get
you go to
Paul,
the finals.
yeah, and then you go to
Well,
the finals,
I
right?
think Jimmy Butler was. I think the Sixers decided to keep Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler. So every time
Something
Jimmy
like
Butler would
that.
play them on the Heat, he'd be like, "Who chose Tobias Harris over me?"
That's a
Okay,
really good
whose career are you guys taking? Tobias Harris or Harrison Barnes?
dude. What a question. I mean,
Well, Harrison Barnes is about to win a chip this year,
oh
so
boy, we're
He's
not
already a
talking there
champion.
yet. I think that Harrison Barnes death lineup with the Warriors was really cool time in his career. But I mean, Toby, I think he got a bad rap because like he was thought of as like this player that wasn't very good and got more money than he needed and stuff like that. But I don't know. I like Tobias's career, dude. I really do. I think he's underrated.
I think he's underrated as well. Hopefully, he does something on this Pistons team because I'd love to see a young team come out
Yeah.
of their division.
I think he is reliable, Dr. Peltzer. Like you said, I think Tobias Harris, if they're gonna win, if the Pistons are gonna win, I think Toby is gonna have to make like a clutch shot, do
Yeah.
something somewhere, like a corner three. Something's gonna happen that someone's on that team besides Caden Durant is gonna have to come up clutch, and it's probably gonna be him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I say that because they do put him in isolation situations, like on
yeah,
the elbow, and
yeah,
they'll have a turnaround, bucket in the clutch. I've seen it.
yeah. All right, so we're good with Pistons. Any final remarks on Pistons? No, we're cooking here. Okay, so look, I saw this. The Knicks, as we discussed, they have star talent. The coach theory was saying it. They got Bridges, they got OG, they got these players that should be good. Sometimes they look amazing. Sometimes they get blown out. I saw if the playoffs started today, the Knicks would be playing the 76ers in the first round. Can the Sixers actually knock them off with a healthy Embiid, Maxey, and Edgecombe? Is that going to be a scary thing for the if you're a Knicks fan? Can they even lose to the Sixers?
Yes.
Yeah,
New
Yeah,
York can
definitely.
lose to just about anybody.
right. So you
Also,
get
Embiid is so devastating that if you catch him on the right series, the right night, he could win a series by himself. Um, so yeah, I would think the Knicks would be definitely favored, but not by much.
that's the scariest matchup to me, I think, in the first round. If it started today, the Cavs would play the Raptors. Obviously, the Raptors got MVP, All-Star Scotty Barnes, but I just don't see the Raptors winning. But you never know. You never know the
So
surprising thing. But the Knicks, I think, uh, it depends which Knicks team we're gonna see. Are we gonna see this like this well-oiled team that can have the starters play heavy minutes and it's a little bit different now without Thibodeau, but it's New York. It's New York, right? It's very sensationalist over there.
Commies.
So speaking
Yeah.
of the odds for Knicks and Sixers,
Yeah.
where do you think they are to come out of the East? They're
Final
fourth. They're fourth and fifth.
They're fourth and fifth. So you said Knicks was a far four from the top three. So I'd say Knicks
is
at like
14.
14 and
Yeah,
then
14.
Pistons like 11. I mean,
It's
excuse me,
Philly.
Philly
Philly.
No, I
11.
would say it's like 6%
It's
for the
exactly
Sixers.
6%. Choose right on
6%,
mine.
dude. Chew
Because they
So
clairvoyant.
can't, they might be able to get 1 or 2 rounds, but to go all three is hard.
yeah, and so just right there we can see if Knicks Sixers play, it's gonna be like 70% chance Knicks win because you just do 14 over 14 plus 6.
Yeah,
Which is
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good basketball. Okay, but with the Knicks, I mean, any burning remarks on the Knicks? Like, is Brunson that guy? I know Coach Siri's not a Brunson guy, Brunson believer over here. Uh,
My bro and I aren't too big a fan. I mean, I like his game,
uh-huh.
you know. I just don't like how much he talks. Any player that talks too much and hasn't won anything, I just kind of shake my head, you know.
Sure.
Um,
I give you that.
get down and do some work. But he's a baller. He's definitely like, if it's a tight game and the ball's in his hands, that's dangerous. You need some good defenders to match that. Yeah. But there's just something wrong. Maybe it's I mean, you have, as I call him, Mr. Potato Head as coach. So
Oh, Woodson?
no, it's Mike Brown, isn't
I
it?
mean,
It's
excuse me,
Mike,
Mike Brown. Yeah,
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 Mike Brown as coach.
yeah, I get
It's the
that
same
part.
I
person.
just
Mike Woodson and Mike Brown are basically the same person.
yeah, I just
All right.
can't really take him seriously, man. I don't know.
He's
He's
a
just
weird coach. It's like, yeah, I
He's
got you.
coach of the year. He's our coach. He won coach of the year with the
yeah, he
Kings a
won
couple years
coach of
ago.
the year once. I don't know, man. I didn't even really pay attention. Who was that with the Cavs or something?
Yeah, I
I
think with
forget.
the
With the
Cavs,
Kings.
Kings.
With the
Oh yeah, when he
King,
took
Guys,
him to the
yeah,
playoffs.
right,
yeah, yeah.
right.
Okay, sorry. The Queen.
And
Okay,
then they fired
like
him
the
the next
beam,
year.
Yeah,
hater,
they
and then
fired him the
fired the beam. Like,
next.
yeah, fired him the next year. Okay, so the Knicks were there, but okay, how
So I don't
about
know.
yeah,
When a team has a ton of talent and just doesn't seem locked in, usually you got to take a look at the head coach a little bit. Um, I just can't see Mike Brown doing much with that squad.
yeah.
So
Okay, so besides that, then we have anyone think that the Magic, the Heat, the Hawks. How about the Hornets sneaking in through the play-in? Con Knuckle broke the three-point rookie record. He probably should get Rookie of the Year over Flag at this point, if you ask me,
Yep.
because of the way the team is, the team success, and his contributions. But they're probably going to give it to Flag. But I mean, can they sneak in and win a couple games? I mean, if they sneak into the eight or seven, they're going to play Pistons or Celtics. That'll be tough, but.
these are all first round
These
exits.
are all first. Okay, I'm just
Yeah,
saying, just
yeah.
trying to give some love.
Add Knuckle to my long list of players that will never win a chip. So far, that
Okay.
list is
I
100%.
was thinking about this, by the way. You're this. It's not that hard of a list to make, dude. It's not like
Of
everyone wins
course, of
champion. Like it's not
course.
like most
No,
players
no,
win
no.
championships.
Sure. I'm
Yeah.
not saying like, oh, look at me. I have this crazy great list. Just add them to that list. I
We
guarantee
should
you,
ask what percent of NBA players in the history of the NBA have won
well, so
championships.
It's
you know,
got to be like 2% or
you look
something,
at
dude.
the reason
Yeah.
I have this list is because you look at teams making moves for superstars like Harden because they think they're going to win a chip.
I get
You know
that.
what
I
I'm
get
saying?
that. I get that.
Harden has been on my list forever. Never going to win a chip.
Yeah. I know.
Even if
How could
Cavs
you
make
not
it out.
root for the Hornets though? The Hornets have been so bad for
I just
so
can't stand
long.
LaMelo, dude. With that traffic injury, the traffic thing, and that interview where he walked out with it. I don't know, dude. Call me like conservative or something, but like
I'm
the
a
way,
hater.
yeah,
Call me a
yeah.
hater.
I don't know, dude. The guy did a hit and run. It's like what the guy that crashes is like whatever, like that whatever was it a Hummer or whatever that car was. I don't
Yeah,
know.
custom
Would
Hummer.
you straight up, if salaries weren't an issue, would you trade LaMelo, oh God, what's his name? For Colin Gillespie?
I would take
You
Colin
would,
Gillespie as my point guard over LaMelo any day. Gillespie has been proven the guy can play, dude. He's a
yeah,
great
he's good.
shooter. He's got a
He's a
good
winner.
attitude. I don't know,
Yep.
dude. He's like, I don't want to deal with all the antics of LaMelo, dude. I don't care for LaMelo. I was a
Well,
big supporter of him.
that's what they need. They need to get rid of Melo, get like a stabilizing, defending floor general, and then take LaMelo's salary and put it towards the center.
Dude, if
And that's
I
all
if
they
I
need to
if
do.
I was the Hornets, I would do that, dude. They got Brandon Miller can shoot. Like, anyway, we're not we talk about the killer bees here too, but I don't know. I just I like this. I just like the storylines. I think they're gonna be first round exits. I don't know. I'm just looking for the pod, coach. Like, imagine the Hornets come in, take the Celtics to 7 game first round.
Well, let's see. What are Hornets after this trade and
What
with the rise of Knuckle? Are they at what, 3%, 4%? What
well
are they?
coming out of the East, Hodge, Dr. Peltzer, what kind of juice we're getting if we take the Hornets coming out of the East?
Okay, so this is where I think there might be some dead money where some institutional investors are profiting by
Wow.
taking large risk because you have Charlotte at 3% to come out of the East.
Yeah.
Um, granted they can, right? They can do it. The Pacers came
Wait,
out
hold
of
on.
the
How do
East.
you know?
How
Is
can they do it?
institutional investor meaning there's like there's a big money from a small percentage of people on the Hornets? Yeah.
So
What does that mean?
recreational bettors like long shots. I could
Okay.
turn $3 into 100. I'm just going to place it right here on the Hornets. But then, so in Kalshi, you have these like financial firms that are actually market makers, and so
Got
they're
it.
filling all these orders. They're betting,
Yeah,
15,000 to
yeah, I'll
win
take that bet. Yeah.
$500.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because they're like it's not going to happen, so they're the odds are not there, so it's like,
So
but
is it kind of the thing where, for instance, okay, so if you want to take,
that's
if you're
crazy to
if
me.
you're if you're a just a random bettor who's like, okay, I like the odds of the
Kings.
killer bees, the bees, for instance, going further. Right now it's at 3%. I think that might go to 8%. I'm going to put some money and make a few $100. If you're the institution, if you're the big money, you say, I'll take that 3%. And then I'll also take it at 10% when someone's trying to buy that because it's not going to hit. Is that kind of the thinking behind that?
That could be it. I think they probably have models that give the Hornets, like in this situation, hypothetically, if they are filling that order of someone trying to buy at 3%, that means they have a true probability of 98% at least, or
Right.
99%.
That's crazy. I
That
mean,
take
like,
that.
Right. So you're kind of guaranteeing yourself 1%.
that's crazy to
I mean,
me.
if you have, $1 million to throw
Yeah.
at this, about 1% of a million,
Yeah, if you
you're
if I
making
yeah
money.
if you have 15 G's and you put like if you have 15 G's for the and put it to get like $300 back, like I guess like if it's like almost guaranteed, why wouldn't you do it? Like I wouldn't do that. I don't have that kind.
Yeah.
But Chu, would you do that if you get 15 like 10,000 to guarantee 300? Like
Imagine you have $1 million net worth. You put it all on the Hornets not to win the championship.
and I mean that seems like a pretty safe bet, right? Like $1 million.
You're guaranteeing yourself whatever percentage is being offered.
But like, yeah, that's
Wait,
the
wait. So is it 3% to make the finals or to win the championship?
To make the
Like,
finals.
yeah.
What is it to win the championship?
But there's
They
there's
probably
probably
don't
a
even offer
spread.
it.
huh?
There's currently a bid-ask spread between 2 cents and 3 cents.
That's amazing. I mean, let's
Yeah.
pool our money and put like
Yeah,
20K on
that's not even
on the
liquid.
Hornets. Anyway, okay. So that's
This
crazy
is
stuff.
a new stock market, guys.
Guys, yeah, we're on top of this, and thanks, Dr. Peltzer for bringing all the stats and the betting analytics here embedded through our course. So, before we move on to the Western Conference, any final remarks here on the Eastern Conference? Any hot takes about anything in the Eastern Conference playoff run from you guys? We good?
Nope.
We
Let's go
exhausted.
West.
We covered it. We covered all the angles here on the Great Western Podcast. No basketball,
Well,
undribbled.
actually, my hot take is this. Give
What?
me any team out of the East, they're done in 5 in the championship.
Wow. Any team done in 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that is hot. That's
What
hot.
Yeah,
team? What
even
team do you
even the
fear the most?
Pistons. So we're gonna. I assume we're transitioning out west. The
Well, yeah,
big
we'll stop here in a
game
second.
was
Yeah.
yeah. The big game was Pistons versus Spurs,
Good
and
point.
Spurs just manhandled them.
Yeah, I saw that
Right,
game. The Pistons didn't look like they had any chance in that game, even at home.
nothing.
Okay.
They're gonna see each other again. I think in late March or April. I forget. Uh, I assume the same thing to happen. there's just an issue with the Spurs that no one can seem to solve, you know?
Is it Wembanyama? Okay. All right, guys, let's transition. Let's go to the
Yeah.
Western Conference. Okay. Let's go to the Western Conference. Let's take a quick look here just so we have an idea. Okay. We have the Thunder, obviously number one division, championship, belt. They got it. Someone's gonna knock them off. You got the Spurs, who look like the real deal, winning 11 in a row. Then you have this kind of glut here: Rockets, Nuggets, Timberwolves, Lakers, Suns, Warriors. All these teams here. Where do we want to start? Do we want to go team by team? Which team do you guys are burning?
Let's
You
start
want to
with
talk
last
about?
night's game, Thunder versus Nuggets.
Okay, let's start with last night's game. Okay, Thunder versus Nuggets. Okay, the Thunder, they've been injured a little bit, right? Shea's been out, Chet's been out, and stuff like that. And then you got the Nuggets, who seem to be playing pretty well, but they lost last night too. So, Chu, we'll let you start, right? Thunder, Nuggets, assess their championship, aspirations. Where does your mind go there with the Thunder or the Nuggets or both? Go for it.
Well, it's I did watch this game, and it is interesting how poor. Um, I mean, okay, so Jokic still probably had like I just said that. Jokic had a bad game for himself, but he still had like 25, 15, and 15 or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
That being said, he went 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. I really don't like Jokic when he shoots threes. Um, he had an altercation. Lou Dort got ejected for trying to trip him, and um, I've never seen Jokic so mad. Like he was pissed.
He got
He
that
had
crazy
that
And
look in his
crazy,
eyes.
yeah, the
His
crazy,
eyes.
yes,
I was watching it, dude. I saw it. I was like, yeah, that was rough. The Dort, we're not gonna be past, letting
he,
that go. So
he's the dirtiest player in the league. I know Sylvain sent the clip of a couple months ago when he tried to go for Wembanyama's knees. And there's just like if you just type in Lou Dort dirty plays into Twitter, you can find a whole compilation of them. But some players, when they get angry, they play better.
yeah,
Uh,
good.
Anytime Chris
Yeah,
Paul would turn the ball over, he would get all pissed and he would come down and steal it back and drop like, 6 quick points on you. I think Jokic is not that type of player. I think when he is
no.
playing free is when he's the best. And um, it's crazy to say that a Peyton Watson injury was so big for the Nuggets, but when you don't have either of your athletic
yeah,
power forwards, it really exposes the Nuggets.
yeah. Gordon too, obviously, right? Without
Well,
Gordon
yeah,
and
because
Watson,
yeah, without Gordon, I mean, obviously you need Gordon, but when his backup goes, it's like there's no one in the dunker spot, and no athletic defender at the four position, and I think I'm hoping that's the problem, and it's not a lingering issue from Jokic's knee injury, but he just looks off. He's not playing as efficient. Again, an off game for Jokic is still a generational game for 99% of NBA players. But Cam Johnson has been very underwhelming this year, and
yep,
he's had to
yep,
deal with a lot of injuries. And Nuggets Twitter is now saying we should trade Cam Johnson, use that money to pay Peyton Watson, and I think that might be the move to make because Cam Johnson just has not been playing well. He had a wide open shot to win the game last night. And then as far
right.
as the Thunder, yeah, dude, they look
Well,
good.
hold on. For the Nuggets, really
Yeah.
quick though. So even with Jamal Murray being an all-star this year, and you look at all their numbers, offensive rate, if you look at their offensive rating, their percentages, their efficiency, their offensive numbers are through the roof right now. So you think there isn't going to be enough? They don't have a realistic chance without Gordon or Watson to actually make the playoffs, to make the
Well,
finals?
they just, they've been so unhealthy this whole year. Like
Yeah.
it's been this season from hell from a health standpoint. So it's like it's hard to judge a team um when they're not playing together. But uh yeah, I would say that Cam Johnson needs to step up,
Yeah.
and we need Aaron Gordon's hamstring to not blow out again because he this might be a chronic issue where it's like he can't play
Yeah.
16 straight games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Dr.
I'm
Peltzer, Coach Theory.
I go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, on Nuggets, sorry, not to cut you off. Just wanted to get their ideas on the Nuggets as
Oh
well.
yeah, please.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, Nuggets to me, they're a great team. They've been a great team, but you need a certain mentality to win chips. And we can point back to their chip and say, "Oh, look, see, they won one." But that was like statistically, that was the easiest chip in 50 years. And I always say somebody's got to win it, right?
Sure.
If players go down, if there's certain injuries, there's always going to be one team that wins it. I get really interested when there's teams that repeat because that shows something, that shows a certain tenacity and a mentality. Because, a team can win, and then next year everyone's going to be coming for them. They're the defending champs. Okay,
Right.
Like OKC, they had a fantastic regular season. No one had them on the map. No one really went for their throats when they played OKC. They played great, had an amazing season, won the chip. Now this year, everyone has OKC on their calendar, and they're
Right.
getting the best shot of everybody, right? And so
Okay.
what do you see? You see OKC already having more losses than they did last year, right? That being said, getting back to the mentality, I just don't see it in Jokic, and I never have. Like you said, when he's frustrated, most players, it's not just Jokic, but many players, when they're mad, they're not good. I mean, we're Kobe fans, we're Mamba fans. So you don't want to piss off the Mamba. You know what I'm saying? And that's a certain mentality. I saw him play. I forget the game. I had some money on it too. I bet Denver, and Jokic just seemed to just kind of throw up threes and then turn the ball over and not really care, right? So in the stat sheet, you might see one turnover, you don't think much of it. But when you're watching the game, first of all, that's a very costly turnover because it's at the end of the game.
Right.
Secondly, you see this lackadaisical, like the offense isn't really clicking, so let me just throw up this shot. They lose the game. He goes to the bench and he's just like, it's not the mentality. This mentality is not really the mentality I go for. I don't think it's the mentality that's going to win you chips. And unfortunately, I don't think it's the mentality that's going to take them out the West this year. I hope I'm wrong for David's sake.
Yeah. I'm rooting for the Nuggets just for you, Chu. I really
I
am.
am too. I'm
I
rooting for the
really am. I
Nuggets
want you to
just
be
for
happy,
David.
you know?
Unfortunately,
what's
I
funny
just
is when
don't see him.
when
Huh?
the Nuggets played the Clippers when Sylvia bet on the Clippers, I realized that, and I went to Clippers Nuggets playoff series last year. I still I still root. I find myself rooting for the Clippers, even though I know that
Ah.
the Nuggets are the better
Yeah,
team,
the Clippers
obviously.
just ain't doing it either,
All right.
unfortunately, too.
All right.
Neither.
That was a good series.
Anything from you, Dr. Peltzer, on the Nuggets before we move into OKC here?
Well, are we ready for the odds?
Yeah,
Yes, let's
let's do the
hear it.
odds.
Okay, so who's the outright favorite?
It's got to be OKC.
OKC at higher or lower 35%.
Higher.
Lower,
Higher.
Two?
lower.
It's higher. Mark
Dang.
is right. The
Yeah.
Wizards right.
Wow.
It's 40%. 40.
Yeah,
40%. So
40%.
It's
people
a
think,
big
okay,
slice of the pie.
yeah.
So real quick, Dr. Peltzer, before we get to the current odds, I remember checking Kalshi and also some other sites at the beginning of the season, and the Nuggets were maybe not at. I think they're much lower now than what they were at prior. Do you remember what they were at, and can we get into where they're at now?
The Nuggets are third. They're right around the same as the second. So who are two and three?
Well, I would
Spurs,
assume
Nugs.
Spurs. It
Spurs.
would,
Spurs and Nuggets,
but Nuggets used to be ahead of Spurs.
and they're both around 15%. Denver's at 13%. San Antonio at 15.
Okay.
What is
What?
what's Wimby's odds to win the MVP right now?
I don't know.
That's my preseason bet. That's the only bet that I have that could potentially still
I
win
think it's
unless
right around 18, 20, or 15%, right?
We're doing really bad over there on all of those. So I mean that kind of makes. I mean, I still think the Nuggets are a team that people. So it sounds like it's on the market over there. Nuggets are still a team that people think have a chance to win this outside of the next obvious to win outside of the Thunder and the Spurs. So I mean, we
So are
could
they pretty much tied with the Spurs right now?
a little bit less maybe.
Yeah, they are. They're just a little less. But
Okay.
Wemby is at 5%. I think it's probably due to the 66 game rule or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
Why
needs
is
to
he
play
so
every
low?
game.
5%. That's
I
crazy.
think
Well, because you have other players right now that are dominant. It's gonna
But
either go to Shea
Shea. It's gonna go to Shea
or
unless he misses unless he misses too many games.
Yeah, he's got 6 games left.
That's pretty. I mean, that's
Jokic
close,
has
dude. And what are they
one
gonna
game.
do?
Jokic
Yeah,
has 1 game left that he could
yeah.
miss, and he's 16%.
All right. So who do we want to dive into more? Should we focus on the championship Thunder and then let's go Thunder next? Because I want to make sure we cover all these teams. Here on the pod. Um, we did Nuggets. You want to go Thunder?
Oh, and
Well,
excuse me.
before we move on to Thunder, Chew, a few pods ago, when Jokic had just come back from injury, he had a brilliant game, and you said you're taking Nuggets to come out the West. Are you still taking Nuggets to come out the West?
Well, that was before Peyton Watson went down.
Sure, sure, sure. But we're assuming that Peyton Watson will hopefully
I am
recover and
taking
come
the
back.
Nuggets. I'm a healthy Nuggets. I'm taking them out of the
There you
West.
go. You got to
Okay.
do it. I
Yeah,
like that.
I'm usually when I ask like, are we taking a team? I'm assuming that we're all going to be healthy.
Well,
You know?
I think it's crazy to say, but the way they guarded Jokic at last year's playoff with Caruso really messed Jokic up. Like they basically just fouled him and dared the refs to call. And so
Yeah.
I think now the Nuggets will have a counter for that. And I think they're probably also, if they play the Spurs, they're also gonna probably try to just do the same thing to Wemby. So there's been a little more data on how the Nuggets or how the Thunder play against strong fives.
Yeah.
And so I think that now that the Nuggets have seen that, and we've seen Caruso try to guard, fives this season, I think that's going to give them the slight advantage to take it over the Thunder.
So fully healthy Nuggets, you're taking Nuggets, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So we're gonna see some matchups come playoffs. We're gonna maybe see Nuggets
Well, okay.
OKC.
If it started today, if the playoffs started today, the Thunder would play the Nuggets in the second round as the 1-4 matchup. But
Okay.
the Spurs are only one game behind the Thunder at 16. So like the Spurs could theoretically be the one seed if
So
they
I
keep
remember
playing like this.
a few weeks back when y'all were going crazy on OKC, they started losing a couple games, and the Spurs were still like 8 games behind OKC, and I was like, there's a chance that the Spurs are gonna catch first place. And now to say we still have what, 20 games left, something like that. To
And there's like
say
10
that
games. There's like 10, 11 games, not even.
Really?
there's 10, 11 games left.
Well, look,
No,
the Spurs are 43 and 16. So what? How many? That's 59. Okay, 20. It's 20 games.
yeah. So
20
there's
games.
some like
My
20
bad.
games left. To say that with 20 games left, you're only a game or a game and a half
No, so I'm
behind
saying
of
it could
the.
change. I'm saying it could
That's
change.
what I'm saying. Like, but what I'm saying is rewind, a couple months ago when we're like, oh, OKC is untouchable.
Yeah, well, they
Now
had
it's like,
injuries.
okay, we have the Spurs like right on the tail right there, you
But
know?
you also said a couple months ago that the Spurs are not there yet to be able to do it. You
No,
didn't, yeah,
absolutely.
you didn't say
Absolutely.
that.
I'm just drawing the comparison of how much the Spurs have improved and how much OKC. What's interesting because
Well,
Dr.
KC has been
Peltzer, maybe
injured
you
though.
could tell us,
Yeah.
Dr. Peltzer, has OKC's chances to come out the West gone down at all over the course of the season?
Yeah, it has. But because when they came out really hot, everyone was
And what were they saying to come out the West? 50%, 60%? What were they
coming
saying?
out the West. So actually, so the odds I gave you earlier were the to win it all, and actually to come out the West, Thunder have are 50-50 right now. That's what they're saying. They were as high as 65%.
They were 65% to come out the West, and now they're at 50?
Yeah. I mean, we were all
Wow.
kind of sold on them when they started, what, 17-0?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we
I
were,
was not sold on
except
them.
maybe Dr. Peltzer. Okay, but
I
so
was
for
I
the
was not
Thunder,
sold on them one bit.
Thunder. So what do they have to do? What next do they have to do? Who wants to take this one? They're the champions. Someone has to beat them. What do they have to do to repeat? Who's gonna have to be it? Who's gonna have to do it? What does that team have to do to ensure they win the championship again and
I
repeat?
know what they have to do. They have
Go
to
for
stay
it.
healthy, and the refs have to allow them to play the type of defense that won the championship last year. Dude, they were fat. They play. If they play a very aggressive defense, and I don't blame them because if the refs aren't going to call it, they're going to even play more and more aggressive and dare the refs to call, and that's what they did last year. So the refs need to continue to call the Thunder games the same way, and they need to get healthy because they've been terribly had terrible health luck over the past 30 games.
So you're saying I mean that was a big thing that they were getting a lot of star calls for SGA and they were playing super aggressive on one end and not getting called against. I mean, is that really what it comes down to? Just like that they were letting them, what about what they were doing basketball wise? Like what they're with the Case and Wallace's, Caruso's, Dort, like what, obviously besides the big three that they have over there with Chet, J-Dub and Shea, like is it, I mean, what do they need to do? Is it just the calls? Like, what about the basketball that they're playing?
Yeah, I mean their defense is elite. They're
Yeah,
deep. AJ Mitchell and Case and
yeah,
Wallace,
he stepped up this
is
year.
like their seventh and eighth guys would probably be, you put them on most other playoff teams. You put AJ Mitchell on the Pistons, that's exactly the type of player they need.
Yeah,
Like a yeah, so they're so deep and they're well coached.
McCain too,
And
right? They got McCain now. They got McCain.
yeah,
He's putting up some good minutes for them too over there. So you know,
I'm rooting for the Spurs or the Nuggets though, for
And
sure.
then are the Thunder really injured, or are they strategically
yeah,
like
I
just
exactly.
prepping
That's a
for?
good point. What do you think about that, Dr. Peltzer?
I think they might just be strategically like resting players, getting ready for the playoffs. But I really think that like this attention on Lou Dort, and if people keep speaking up and it's in the news, like the refs will adapt, and
That's a good
it'll
point too.
it'll be
They
bad
have to,
for the
and you've
Thunder.
already seen that. I was stoked when you and I were watching the mini Minnesota versus OKC game, and the coach of Minnesota got ejected. I think even in the first quarter, I forget when it was, but early
Yeah,
on,
Chris
because he was
Finch.
like, "This is BS,"
Yeah,
And a lot of people have been calling it out. And what we've seen since then is the refs kind of take notice and the league kind of take notice because there's internal discussions between the
right.
league and the refs. And now, when you see a more fairly refereed game, well, OKC isn't as dominant. I think the way it was ref last year definitely gave OKC an advantage,
Yeah,
and now you're not
they're kind
seeing
of the
that.
they are kind of the darlings of the NBA. They were last year, and I think people wanted them to win, but now they're public enemy, right? Like everyone,
Exactly.
it was a good story. This young team that came together and won.
Great story.
Yeah, it was a good story, and
Yeah.
it's a good story for the NBA. But now it's like now they're the bad guys, right? So let's see if they can. MJ was like that too, right? When he was young,
Yeah.
Kobe, I think had a little bit of a different trajectory. But yeah, I think I don't want the Thunder to win again. I want them to get knocked off.
I just don't like that style of basketball, you
Yeah.
know?
Okay.
Um,
So that's enough with enough OKC. Where are we going next, boys? We're going to talk about all these teams. We have time. We got time. No one's got any hard outs today. What's next? Which team do we got want to talk about? We got no,
Lakers.
not I don't want to talk Lakers. No, real contenders, Chew, real contenders.
Lakers might
Oh,
not
real
even make the
contenders?
playoffs,
No,
man.
don't say don't you duped me for that one. No, I want yeah, we can do Lakers if you want. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on Lakers but we can do Lakers.
How about this? Do you guys think Luka has peaked athletically?
He peaked athletically on the Cavs, or I mean, on the
Mavs.
Mavericks, on the
I
Mavs, and that's why he got traded.
Okay. I don't I
Uh,
think he's 27. I think he is at the peak, but I don't know. It's up to him to see if the descent is next year or in 2, 3 years. I think he has a couple more years where if he works hard at it, he could maybe fortify his ability to like play like uh at this level of athleticism. I think he needs to work harder to be where he is, and I think he needs to put more work in on the defensive side. I mean, the bigger body is okay. You can move kind of slowly on the offensive side and do a
Yeah,
change
he's
of
skilled
pace.
enough to do
He's
that.
skilled
Yeah,
enough to do it, but is it depends on how much of a liability he's going to be on defense, which is one of the biggest knocks against his game. He even said it too with the whole JD thing. The player who you want to see your best player defend the best player of the other team. If you got that guy, that's the guy you want to bank on. Luka is not that guy, and that's okay. But he's still, leading the league in scoring. But with all the playoff, with all the calls and stuff, like, but every day, the Lakers have lost 3 games in a row. It's easy now to say it's a slide. He's soft, whatever. He doesn't play defense. But let's see what every day is a
I
different.
mean, I don't think Luka's the problem in Lakerland.
Yeah,
He constructed to construct a team. yeah, you have some issues on defense that you need to adjust with your roster. You know, you
Right.
need to bring in some 2 guards or some 3 guard, some forwards that can make up for his defensive lapses. Sure, but when you have that good of an offensive machine, that could be doable. And we've seen that the Lakers' strategy is to try to outscore opponents,
I saw a stat.
especially with Reeves in there.
I saw a stat that both Reeves and Luka have higher efficiency offensive ratings when LeBron's off the court. Both of them play better without LeBron.
And that's exactly what I was saying in the offseason at the beginning of the season. You know, that's the problem with the Lakers. You know, you got this 50 mil
Yeah.
contract that comes in. And as I said at the beginning of the season, the Lakers are going to come out hot, which they did. LeBron's going to come in, is going to create some issues, and then they're going to start, not performing well. Right now, they're full squatted. You know, I think Rui was out last game, but other than that, they're full squatted, and they've dropped 3 in a row. In the earlier the season, when you would see a bad loss, like when they lost to the Kings or something like that, I forget who, they came back and blew out Charlotte. It seemed like they were able to play with a chip on a shoulder that got them the W. For all intents and purposes, for the sake of like your own locker room mentality and your motivation to play, you have to get that Suns win.
Yeah,
And
I
they
can't believe
dropped
that
that.
loss. I can't believe that one, dude. Without
And so
Booker,
that
without Brooks, how do you lose that one too?
Well, because also you're in the tight race. The Suns were literally trailing them by 2 games, and now by 1 or something like that,
Yeah,
three
it's
or
one
two.
game exactly. The Lakers are
Yeah.
at the sixth seed. I mean, they're sliding. They're slowly falling into the play-in,
Well,
right?
so they're going to be in the play-in, and in the play-in, you might be
If
facing the
if
Clippers.
if
Here's
that means
Clippers playing. Let's go.
no.
Let's go.
Well,
We got to go to that.
I'm thinking it might
I'll fly
happen
back for
because
that
look,
one.
the Lakers are just slowly collapsing, right? And
Yeah,
they were started out third or
they were
second or
third
third
for
or
a long
whatever.
time. They were third for a
Third
long time.
and
Now
a
they're
solid
sixth.
third,
Yeah.
playing good ball, and then LeBron comes in, and then right, and
Oh,
then
What do you think, Dr. Peltzer?
or yeah, finish your sentence,
Yeah,
guys.
sorry. You were. Yeah,
well, I was just saying that they're going to end up probably in 8th or 9th spot, you know. And so, what does that mean? That means you're in the plan, and if in the plan you're facing most likely the Clippers, or I mean they'll beat probably the
Warriors,
Warriors. They'll
Trailblazers.
probably beat the Warriors, but if it's Clippers Lakers playing right now the way teams are, I'm putting my money on the Clippers, man.
Let's go.
I hate this so much. Can we please stop talking about the Lakers? It's
Yeah,
pretty sad.
let's move on. That Dr. Peltzer, if you have some takes on the Lakers, I'm good on them. I don't gotta say
Well,
nothing
yeah,
else.
maybe LeBron's not hitting the rookie wall; he's hitting the senior wall.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, I mean, with this whole stuff with
Smashed him.
this
Do you
whole
see
thing
him
with
break
Aiton
that
too.
layup?
This thing
He had
with
a
Aiton,
bunny. He
yeah.
had a bunny.
Dude, the Aiton stuff too
He used
the Aiton
that
stuff is
layup.
annoying me
That
so
layup
much.
used to be. They used to reach back right over
All
the
right,
side. That used
we're,
to. That,
we're done. We're
A
done.
quick take on the odds here. Who would you have as a bigger, more likely long shot? Hornets coming out of the East or Lakers coming out of the West?
It's got to be Hornets, no? Do you have
Hornets,
a
because
long
the
shot?
East is weak.
So this is they're both at 3% right now.
Great, the same. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Lakers are
I
a first
mean,
round.
man, we're comparing the Lakers to the Hornets
They're a
right
first
now.
round exit. They're a first round exit, even if they get to the, even if they don't
Oh,
get
that's
up
for
in the
sure.
play,
They
if they
were
don't
a
mess
first
up in
round
the,
exit last year.
and it's not going to be a 7 game series either. Like
No.
I'm just not seeing this Lakers team. We have to stop talking about this. Okay, we have Spurs. We have Spurs. We haven't done Spurs, Rockets, Timberwolves, Suns. Those are the ones that are left. We have to do all 4 of those. Well, Suns maybe not, but
It's
Suns
just the
not.
Spurs.
no
Just the
Spurs.
Spurs, well,
Spurs.
no, the
Hey, hold on,
Rockets,
Timberwolves. We got to talk and too. But you want
Yeah,
to do Spurs?
all three
Timberwolves.
are worth mentioning.
Let's do all 3 and then we're out. Which
Yeah.
one? Which order first? Which one?
Well, let's go top to bottom. Let's go
Okay,
with my
Well,
so we'll go
Spurs.
Spurs. We'll go Spurs. Timberwolves. We'll go
And
Spurs.
if you don't
Rockets.
mind,
Timberwolves.
I'll start out with the
No,
Spurs
please
because I need
go.
help from Dr. Peltzer
You're the
here.
resident. You're the resident Spurs bandwagon fan. Let me
On
get.
October 23rd, 2025, I placed a bet 50 to win 1,000, meaning it's plus 2,000 for the Spurs to win the chip.
Nice.
If they come out of the West, they're winning the chip in my book. The only team I think could give them trouble and may are the Celtics. I could see the Celtics taking that and, Wemby crying after a loss, but they're still young. The Celtics are experienced. Um, Right now, what are the odds? I'm guessing they're not plus 2,000. And I kind of look at coming out of the West and winning the chip for whatever Western team as kind of the same, right? So what are the odds of the Spurs
You gotta
coming
be
out the
careful with
West?
that, though. You got to
Because
be careful with that. When the Lakers lost to the Pistons, we were all, that
I
you
know,
were
I
scarred.
know, I know.
If a team is in the finals, you got to give them some credit, dude. Like
There's
Especially
some
an
Or
injury prone player like Wembanyama, like he might make it through the West and then get injured in
right.
the
yeah.
finals.
So that was the bet October 23rd. I also took Spurs on Kalshi on the 31st of January because I had just discovered these markets. 11% chance to come out the West on January 31st. We're less than a month later. What are they at now to come out the West?
They are at 14%. That's going to be near like 7-1, maybe.
To come out the West?
So you
Or are
gain
you
you
looking
gain
at chip? I
3%.
think you're looking at championship, no?
Championship,
Yeah, what about to come out the West?
19%.
19%. Okay.
So how does that work? Can you hedge
So
yourself
I can,
and
yeah, I can
take the
cash out
difference?
now. I can basically cash out now. And I
You
had
can
put
you get your money back and let the $8 ride? Is that how it works?
absolutely.
It's
It's
Okay.
you
like the
can buy it in
futures.
shares.
It's like a futures market, a commodity, or like a stock.
So
So
check it out. Right now, I had initially placed, let's see this.
Like an
Well, let's
option.
get into Spurs and then I'll pull up my bets because I can
yeah.
cash out and
Okay.
I'm
So
I'm plus money right now.
I get it. We love the betting here, but basketball, coach theory, the
Yeah.
Spurs team.
So
What
they're
has to
they're
happen? Is it Castle, Harper, Vassell? Is it De'Aaron Fox? What's going to be there? What do they have to do to win the basketball? Win the
so yeah,
basketball.
the basket let's stick to the basketball. This is a team I've followed closely for 3 years now. They've grown together, they've meshed a lot more, and individually each player has improved from top to bottom. The only players that haven't improved were the players that were there from before. So can I'm
He's
glad
gone.
he's out. I liked him. I didn't hate him, but he's just kind of useless on the. They're extremely deep. Like there is not a player on that team I wouldn't want on my team. There's never a time where a player comes in and I start cringing. And that's very unique because even on my favorite Laker squads, when a player like Farmar would come in or, another player, I'd be like, oh, this is going to be tough.
Right.
I will take our B squad over any B squad in the NBA. I will take our C squad, and I can list players. For instance, our rookie this year, other than Harper, number 14 pick, is Carter Bryant.
He's
That
quite good.
guy is a bona fide 3 and D player. He's
He's
still
good.
a rookie,
Yeah,
so
he's
he's
good.
still, occasionally has some turnovers, but he's getting minutes, and that's what's great about this team is they're playing their rookies valuable minutes. And in the regular season, that might cost you a game or two, but they're near the top of the West. So that just shows you how good everything else is. Barnes is now slowly who was a starter, now he's coming off the bench, right?
Champagne
Uh
is starting instead of him, right?
Champagne is starting, and I don't know whether that's matchup purposes or just they're trying to experiment a bit, but the result is they're winning. The problem they have is they come off to slow starts. I haven't really identified why, but they're able to claw their way back into games. And, they were down, I forget what it was, in their last against Toronto. I think they were down 15 points on
Yeah,
the
they
road.
were. They came back and won that game. They
They
were down
came
double
back and
digits in
won
the
that
fourth
game.
quarter. Yeah, they were down
And
late.
those are games they would not win in previous seasons at all.
Yeah.
They wouldn't even have a chance of coming back. You also have Keldon Johnson, who I picked as my sixth man of the year. The last couple games didn't play too well, but overall, he is a solid player on both ends of the floor, getting rebounds, hitting
I
threes.
like Keldon Johnson. I like his
He
game.
does all the hustle plays.
I like him. He has a motor. I mean, a couple years back, this guy was leading this team in scoring, and he's taken that new role of like a six man really well. He's adapted
And
very well to that.
if it weren't for what's his name on the Wolves, who I think is still going to win it and deserve it, I would take KJ in a heartbeat for six man of the year. And also, if I have a championship squad, I would take KJ on my six man.
Dang.
over what who's on the Wolves?
You're
I'm
talking,
blanking on the
you're talking
name.
about Nas Reed?
Yeah, Nas Reed. I would take KJ on my squad if I'm going for a chip over Nas Reed.
Spurs are
Okay.
so scary, dude.
That's a
They're
lot.
good
That's a lot of stuff right there.
with a
Excellent
lot of draft
analysis,
picks
Coach
coming.
Theory, top to
I
bottom.
mean, we haven't even talked about their guards. You have Fox. You have Vassell, who's just lights out in the last couple
Dude,
games, just
Vassell is on a
scoring
different level
buckets.
right
He's
now
got a
too.
mid range. He's got a three ball. The thing is, they have players who hit middies. Not many teams have that, and they
Yeah.
don't just have one player. They have several players that can hit middies,
I think
right?
the Spurs are real. They're dangerous. They're gonna. No team wants to play the Spurs.
No team wants to play the Spurs. Even when Wemby was out, they were still winning games. That means the supporting cast is there. And even when Harper went down or Cornette went down or the one thing that as that where they struggled was when Cornette went down because they didn't have enough backup other than
Olynyk is not
Cornette.
doing enough. Olynyk is not. I
Well,
feel like Olynyk should have
Olynyk.
been
So
able to
hold on,
replace Cornette better.
Olynyk was also out at the time Cornette
Okay.
was out, and
Okay.
so you had Bismack Biyombo coming in. And you would see the Spurs start
champion.
destroying teams, and then Wemby sit, and then they tried to throw in Bismack, and I think that's why they went for Plumlee. Now they got Plumlee because if it just so
Oh,
happens that one
really?
or two of those bigs are injured, you can't put Bismack in there, man.
Bismack is
It's
a
just
champion, huh?
They
what's
got
What?
that?
Plumlee. They got
Bismack
Plumlee
has a
too.
ring.
Wait, they have
I
Cornette,
think
Olynyk,
Bismack
and
got a ring with
Plumlee.
Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
so now
respect.
so now their one weak spot, if one of the bigs was injured, is now with Plumlee there, they're solid.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
not too
Okay.
concerned.
That's a lot. Okay.
And Plumlee has yet to play a minute.
All right. Depth analysis there. NBA
Yeah.
historian Chu Dr. Peltzer. What do you guys follow up with that with the Spurs?
You can go, Doc.
You can go, Doc.
Yeah, Bismack is a deep cut on the Spurs.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, they're solid. I mean, if they have a six man of the year contender, you're saying they're the most surprising team. They coach of the year candidate in Mitch. They're a contender. They have the best player in the league. They have clutch players in Fox. The only thing I'm wondering is whether Victor can block out the noise come playoff time. Like, can he meditate
Sure.
enough and get ready? Because I've seen like you saw the Warriors game where like Draymond and him got in it. The Warriors pulled it off in San Antonio. So there's some questions.
Yeah. That's a fair
So
point.
the
That's a
question
fair
is
point.
can Wemby be mentally locked in enough to block out the noise? Okay. All
That's
right.
a fair. No, that's a good question. I mean, he does seem to. He is an emotional player, and I like that a lot. And it'll be he does seem to have like a level to him, but sometimes it does maybe like late in games. We'll see in the playoffs when every game matters. If he makes a bad play, will he like come back and like not compound it? I
So
think those are fair
just
questions.
to answer that question, because I've watched Wemby
Yeah,
like a hawk.
we know.
Uh, so I've seen him have games where he's just like a bit mentally off, right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
actually want him to go sit on the bench and just shut his eyes and meditate. And they actually show that. You saw it in the playoff or in the All-Star game. He went to the bench and started meditating,
I
you
loved
know.
how much he played hard in the All-Star game. Anyway, yeah.
It was amazing.
What do you think, Max? What do you think?
And you know what? You know what? I will put my money on and root for a team that does that, even if it's at the detriment of losing, because you want like that's where your heart's at. You know
It's
what I'm
good for
saying?
the
Like
league.
you want that team to win.
All right, let's keep
You
moving, guys.
know.
We're well over an hour at this point. We got two more teams to do. Let's do this. This is we have a lot to stay here at the Great Western Podcast. Okay, um, we're gonna go with the Rockets now. Okay, the Rockets. KD dropped like a 40 point game the other day. Reed Shepard, who Chew famously, you high, low. Now are we high again? Is he actually going to be able to be a decent point guard for this team? But Kevin Durant is there. He's playing in good form. Thompson, Şengün, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, Okogie's getting minutes over there. Does this Rockets team, okay, have what it takes to actually make a deep playoff push? They were a team at the beginning of the season that a lot of players were picking. They made the move for KD. Chew, you're shaking your head. Why not? This team can't do it?
Yes, and I actually have to go in a minute here. I hear my kids losing it outside here.
No
But
worries, no worries. Yeah, this is
but
longer than usual.
do we know do you guys, I know there's no way to know for sure, but do you guys each believe that those leaked Kevin Durant messages are real, or do you think those are fake?
Oh
I haven't
man.
even
Gun to
heard
your head.
this.
There was, yeah, I mean that whole thing with like the front office
You
of the
haven't seen
Rockets like
the leaked Durant
investigating
messages?
investigating
No, no,
his
no.
burner accounts and stuff. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
saying that
true,
like, yeah. Go,
true.
Shane.
What, true. What is it? What's going on with
So basically,
uh?
last week, there were leaked Kevin Durant burner messages where he basically was just trashing everyone on the Rockets. Basically, any player, any teammate that he's ever had, he was trashing. And I just
Okay.
think this is just classic Kevin Durant, like all the talent in the world, worst leader. Uh, for his legacy, I hope he wins. I'm rooting against the Rockets. The only player on the Rockets I like is Steven Adams, and he's out. I am reading for a Reed Shepherd. I don't think he has any shot at. I think I had most improved or sixth man. I forget which two I voted him for. Um, but yeah, like I said, without Steven Adams, they're not going to be able to defend Wembanyama or Jokic, and I just don't like Kevin Durant. So yeah, I'm just not on. I don't think the Rockets can do it, and I'm rooting against them actually. But
Shangun,
I
you
got
don't
to go,
think
guys.
Shangun?
It was good
Shangun can't
chatting.
do it. Baby Jokic. Yes,
Later.
Peace,
you
David.
Later.
gotta go. Yeah, that's it. That's the way he goes out. Okay, what do you guys think? Shangun, Rock, is it you guys hate you guys think he's there Chu is right
So,
about this?
so I had taken the Rockets to make it out the West. Obviously, a bit of wishful thinking there. I still think that, I mean, they've proven they can win games, but it's just a game here, a game there. They
Yeah.
haven't put together a solid month of basketball. I think there's some issues. I don't know if any of those leaked messages are true, but I wouldn't be surprised because you can kind of see the body language of KD and Şengün maybe butting heads. I
Yeah.
personally can't stand Şengün, right?
His game or his
But
person what do you mean by his game personality, but like
kind
what is
of
it about
both,
what is it that you
kind
don't
of
like
both.
about him? Yeah.
So I'm not gonna get into his personality because I don't know him
Yeah,
personally,
yeah,
but
yeah.
just
Sure.
just kind of some of his antics on the court, I'm just it's just kind of cringe. But his game, I don't know. It's just he it's almost as if he's trying to make up for a certain lack of skill with his physique. And he
Sure.
just kind of
Sure.
like
Okay.
leans towards a shot or just like it's just he gets buckets off of broken plays a lot that I'm just like
Okay.
down the stretch, I don't think that's gonna hit.
Okay.
But that's why you have KD. And when KD takes over at the end of stretches, I mean they just came back 19 points against
Magic.
who they come back? The Magic.
Yeah.
Not that the Magic are a great team, but that's on in the NBA coming back 19 against anyone, especially if you have some internal stuff going on with the players there. That was KD
Yeah.
100%,
Yeah.
and that's what I was hoping that KD would just be given the not only the green light, but it's his team. You do it, and it just kind of seems like Şengün is like, no, this is my team. You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying?
I agree. At the
Uh,
beginning of the year, they're like, oh, we love playing together,
yeah.
but it's that relationship has not grown in the way you want
Well,
it
when
to.
you don't get and they're still the third place team in the
Yeah.
West.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe they're just not satisfied with their types of wins they're getting, or they're getting frustrated at their losses. But yeah, when things aren't clicking right, the two head honchos are gonna bet heads. That's kind of natural. Um, they also are lacking a point guard. Like that's
Yeah.
just
We said that.
evident from day one. I wish Van Fleet were there because man. And then on top of that, you lose Steven Adams. I picked him to come out the West, but it's not. It's just not happening.
Yeah. Dr. Peltzer, where are the Rockets on the betting markets to come out
They're
of the West?
they're 7% to come out the West.
7%. That's pretty low for a third place for the third
Pretty
place.
low for a third place team. So
Where did they start out? Like at the beginning of the season, what were they to come out the West?
yeah, they were higher, like 15%.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that because 15% would make sense for a third place ish team, and that's kind of where I had them. They would start out the season struggling, which they did. Then they would start winning games, and then they would end up maybe around third place or something like that. And that's what we're seeing. So why do we think that they went from 15 down to 7% if they're still a third place team playing solid basketball?
Good point, dude. I don't know. What do you think, Dr. Peltzer? What's the point of that?
It could be that they've lost some close games against good teams, quality teams. Uh, their road record is 17 and 14, which isn't
Ooh,
ideal.
that is that is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
pretty. That's actually.
And
That's actually.
also,
That's
They're
good.
one of the top home teams, right? So if they're in third place, they should have home court advantage for at least the first round.
Yeah, they will have. I mean, if the playoffs started today, the Spurs Rockets would be the second round matchup at the 2-3.
Woo.
Yeah, if it started
That would be a
today.
fun one.
But
Yeah.
I do think the Spurs will catch the Thunder, and I think the Thunder will be dropping to 2, and then it'll be Thunder Rockets in the second round, and then it'll be Nuggets.
You think Spurs are catching the Thunder?
I think so, but I think with
Okay.
the Rockets, I agree. I just think that like the lack of the point guard, their offense just doesn't run smoothly enough.
No, it doesn't
Their
at all.
defense is good. They're on paper they're really talented. Like
Yeah.
with Thompson, with Amon Thompson, and even Jabari, even Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. Like these guys are. It's a good team, dude. They're long, they're athletic, they're defensive. I think their defense kind of picks makes up enough for, but they just need something more. Something more has to happen from them for them to make a real push. I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. They're well coached.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just think, I mean,
Exactly.
I think it just goes to show you that severe lack of a point. I didn't think it would be that evident, but that's just
So
how it is.
in that game where KD dropped
38,
40,
40.
he got 40.
Yeah.
He actually passed a little pop quiz, little quick trivia, and then we'll go to the Timberwolves. Kevin Durant passed 32,000 points in his career. Okay.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
only five players, or excuse me, yeah, five players who have more. Who are those five players? That have
Obviously
more.
LeBron,
LeBron.
obviously the captain,
Yep.
obviously Kobe
Kareem.
Bryant.
Kobe.
Um, and then, so how many are
MJ.
missing?
Two. Those are three. Those are you got LeBron is number one,
Yeah.
Kareem's number two, Kobe's four, and
Yeah.
then Durant is six. You're missing two, three
I'm
and
missing
five,
the third place.
third and fifth. Most points NBA history.
Yeah. Shoot. I'm blanking right now. Who's Karl Malone?
I
No.
Karl
thought,
Malone is three. Karl
yeah,
Malone
There
is
you go.
Malone,
three.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
And you're missing number five, who I can't
I
believe you.
think MJ's at seventh, yeah?
No, it's MJ. It's MJ.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. He just passed MJ.
No, he just passed Dirk.
Oh, that's what it was.
He passed
Yeah.
MJ's five.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So look,
MJ.
there we go.
I mean, he's up there,
That's a
man.
good list. I mean, imagine a list of. I was watching the post game interview. I was like, well, he's sixth on that list. Like that, you
Yeah.
gotta give the guy some credit for his career. But yeah, all these knocks about like him being a leader and not being a leader.
I think he just needs to win. It's the only way, and this is his last chance in
Yeah.
his career to have a legitimate shot at winning. And I mean, look, he got a lot of really, really heavy, and I'm not saying it's unwarranted, but a lot of bad rep for joining the Warriors and winning
Yeah.
2 chips there. He got his chips, and then he heard the noise, and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna go try to win elsewhere." He hasn't won. He needs to win. That's it. He needs to win a chip. If not, like I can't have him nearly touching my top 5
I got
of
you.
votes.
I
You
agree.
know what I'm saying?
All right, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna finish this off. We're gonna go Minnesota Timberwolves. Currently, the Minnesota Timberwolves are in the fifth seed, but you know it's right there. They're right there, tied with the Nuggets. They could be the fourth seed. Obviously, they're Anthony Edwards led team. They got Randall, they got Gobert, DiVincenzo, Jaden Daniels, Naz Reid. You know, they have a solid squad over there. They made it to the Western Conference Finals last year and played the Thunder pretty tough. They just didn't have enough to win the games. Um, do we think that the Timberwolves, with their experience, are they going to be able to make it to the Western Conference Finals again? Is Ant going to take his game to another level? Dr. Peltzer, what do you think? What do the Timberwolves have to do to make another playoff run, to make a playoff push and get to the Western Conference Finals and even the finals this year? Is it even possible?
I think they're built to make a playoff run this season, just like they were the last 2 seasons. Now, the question is whether they can. So I think it's a matchup thing. I think they could upset the Thunder. I really think that's possible.
I think so too.
They could beat the Nuggets in the first round, so they could technically they have a road to get to the Western Conference Finals right there. But regular season wise, they've shown inconsistencies throughout. So I'm not putting my money on them.
What does the market say? They can't be more than like 7-8%, right? That probably seems high. Coach, what do
To
you think
come
on that?
out of the West, they're at 7%, just
There
like
you
the
go.
Rockets.
I mean, eight. I watched that. I mean, Anthony Edwards. I say this with caution because he hasn't won anything, but he does carry himself in that Jordan Mamba, like trajectory, like the
Absolutely.
attitude.
Yeah.
That's how he plays basketball. I'm not saying he's anywhere near them. Up, they have to win, but that's how he plays basketball, right? He plays like Kobe. He plays like Jordan, and it's fun to watch. But is he enough? Is he going to be growing enough? Is he going to get enough from Randall, from DiVincenzo, from Gobert, from McDaniels? I mean, I don't know. Coach Theory, what do you think? Are they gonna
I
just kind
mean,
of stop burnout again or what?
I love this team
Yeah.
and I love Ant.
Yeah.
Anyone who has that mentality, anyone who is gonna say that's the best player on the opposing team, I'm gonna go lock him up. I'm
Yeah.
100% for. He has that fire in him, so he's exciting to watch. And at the end of the day, that's what we want is a player that's exciting to watch. And in the playoffs, the intensity and the level just rises up. So I want to see out of him what I've seen out of Kobe and Michael, and all the greats.
Yeah.
Can he do it? I think he can. Will he do it? I don't know. But the problem with the Wolves isn't Ant. Um, the problem with that team is you have a very inconsistent Randall. Let's put it this way: for the Wolves to do anything, you have to have Randall play way better than he's playing. He needs to be
Sure.
another dominant force that's the defense has trouble with what to do with him. And we haven't seen, maybe we've seen a game where, he has a great showing, but we haven't seen any consistency out of Randall. Next to that, what do you have? You have players and you have role players that are good. In fact, it was very interesting because at the deadline, I really wanted to see what they would do. They made an interesting move that I think is positive, is a net positive. But you saw two players that they once had leave the team and then come back off a buyout, right? Slow-Mo wasn't this year, but he left the
Yeah.
Wolves previously. He got bought out recently, and now he's back in Minnesota. And
Kevin
you also had
Conley.
Conley
Conley.
leave via trade,
Yeah.
get bought out, and then come back. So now you have two veteran role players that are on the team again. Is that enough to move the needle? If Randall doesn't show up like big,
Yeah. I
better
agree.
than what he's been doing, that's just not enough to get you
I mean,
anywhere.
DiVincenzo can hit a shot. Jaden McDaniels can have a nice
Sure,
offensive showing.
sure,
Nas Reed can
sure.
get a bucket too, but they need Randall to be dominant for them to actually
Yeah,
have a chance to win. And they,
yeah. All those role players hitting a shot, that'll win you a couple games. But to
yeah,
win a series, I mean, they could get out of the first for sure. If it's Rockets Wolves, I might take Wolves on that.
yeah.
I don't know. That could be a nice seven
Right now
games.
it'd be Nuggets. Right now it'd be Nuggets. But again, they're
They have a
literally
shot at beating the Nuggets. They
yeah,
do.
they could beat Rockets Nuggets if they fall into the seven. They're not gonna. I mean, yeah, the Lakers are at 6 and the Suns are at 7 right
But
now. I don't. Yeah,
once that team runs into OKC and the Spurs, I mean, as I said, with Ant, and if Randall plays out of his mind, they can beat the teams.
yeah,
They beat the Spurs earlier in the season.
right.
So
Yeah.
um, I just don't see it happening.
Wow.
But I'm rooting for them.
I
I
like
would love
watching
for
them
them.
too.
Actually, you know what would be a great series is Wolves Pistons. That would be a great finals.
That would be a good finals. Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
like watching them play. So, it remains to be seen. The narrative is there. They have the pieces. Can they put it together? Yeah, if they've made like Dr. Peltzer said, they had deep runs the last couple years. Do they have enough this year? They didn't do anything to retool. They lost Nikhil. So they didn't do anything to help them get over the hump. They have the experience now better, but is that going to be enough? So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. All right, boys. Any closing remarks here? Wow, that was probably the longest episode
Closing
ever.
remarks is I just hope that in June I'm cashing out a good 2,500 off of less than $100 put on my teams.
Fair enough.
So
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
I mean I think these bets were done back in October, and right now the trajectory, the Spurs have won 11 in a row, and who they got next? I mean they might make a push to be winning 20 in a row. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know.
Dr. Peltzer?
Just a little quick stat to leave y'all on the way out. I'm giving Concanupple a 25 to 30% chance of winning a chip.
Dang.
And
25 to 30% chance.
here's
All
my
right.
logic. He's gonna play between 8 and 10 seasons. If
Mm-hmm.
you give him a 1 out of 30 chance to win a chip every year, then the probability of him not winning is going to be 29 out of 30 to the power 8, which is 25%. 29 out of 30 to the power 10 is 30 is sorry, it's 75%. 29 out of 30 to the power 10 is 70%, so you do 1 minus that.
Beautiful.
And
There
just
you
to finish,
Yeah.
just one more thing.
Sure.
11 to 13% of players win chips.
Oh,
So if you do
that's higher than I
29 out
thought.
of 30 to the power of the average number of years played by a player, that's right around that 87%. So it's
Well, we'll see in 10 years if my list is still 100%
Yeah, we'll
correct
see. All right, boys.
with Con.
Thanks for watching, everyone. This is episode 37. If you made it this far with us, we love you. Yeah, we love you. All right. Good basketball, everybody. All right, later.
Peace.
Bye.